Hi YouTube. Here's a quick video about this TCL 65-inch TV, which is sold at Walmart. Oftentimes this is on sale during Black Friday. And so I picked this up as a bedroom TV. This is selling for $228 in 2022 at Walmart. You can also find a similar TV at Target, I believe, which is an Element, also for a very similar price. And that's a 65-inch TV as well. This one is a 4 Series TV by TCL. And you can see the model up here. It's the 65S41. And, I think based on everything I've seen about it, it seems to deliver on basic expectations you have from a television. This one is 4K, which is pretty standard these days. It's a smart TV and has a built-in Roku. And if I show you the features on it, it's got the 4K UHD picture quality, high dynamic range, HDR. I'm going to open it and see if that is indeed true. Obviously the Roku interface, thousands of streaming channels. You get the voice control, which is a Roku feature. So if you use a separate Roku, you're used to it. This comes standard with this television. And, it's out of the box, it's ready to play. It also has Dolby audio, which I'm honestly not sure how good that is going to be, because typically these flat screen TVs do not have great audio, which is why you end up buying a soundbar, but we'll see. And of course it has these HDMI ports. It does have an ARC port too. I believe there are 4 HDMI ports, it says at the bottom here. Only 1 ARC though. And it is a smart TV, so it will support 4K. I'm sorry, it will support Wi-Fi. So that's the initial impressions by looking at the box. It is a very large television since it's 65-inch. So if you're going to install it, I suggest you have someone work with you to get this thing settled. I'm actually going to install it on the wall, so I have it I've got everything ready to go for that, and let's see how it goes. So let me open the box and show you what the contents are next. Okay, so I have got everything out of the box, and it's pretty good. The packaging was pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with the way it was packaged. So what comes out of the box is obviously the main unit, which is the television. And it shows clearly that this is a 2-person job because it is a large TV. So you better, have support for you as you install it. There are these 2 base legs that are going to get attached to the bottom of the TV if that's how you intend to use it. You get a remote control, which is a very typical Roku control with very simple interface, very few buttons in there. So we'll take a close look. There's the power cord and some documentation and a couple of batteries that come for it. So let's take a closer look now. Okay, so everything that came out of the accessories package is out here. There's a registration card. If you do end up registering your product, you get 3 months extra warranty. I think that's the only attraction there. The TV itself comes with a 1-year warranty. So that's something to bear in mind. That's both on parts and labor. That's what it says. And then here's your power cable. And here's the Roku remote. It does come with these TCL batteries, which is a AAA battery. Goes, into the remote. And then if you do intend to use these to, put them on something instead of mounting it on the wall, then you will be using these 4 screws that come with it. So it's a pretty easy install, but I don't intend to use that, so wouldn't be part of my application. What they do not supply to you is an Ethernet cable. So you will need to get an Ethernet cable separately if you intend to hardwire it. Of course, if you intend to use Wi-Fi, then you don't need this. You can put this aside. This would also be a good time if you intend to use like any kind of a light, that goes behind, like I intend to. This would be a good time to have this handy as well. So going to be installing this Aura LED 65-inch TV, like a mood light. So as the TV goes on, it'll come alive, and as you can see in this picture, this is how it'll show. So I have this on some of the other televisions too. It works out nice. So that's that. And then if you look at a close look at the remote, you have the power button up here, you have the home button, the back button, and then of course the buttons to go in various directions. So pretty basic, I would say. It does have the HBO Max, the Apple TV, Disney, and Netflix built in as specialized buttons. That's interesting to see Apple TV Plus as a standardized button. And here on this side, you will see the volume toggle button, and the mute button is on the side as well. Nothing on the other side. So again, pretty basic, but I actually do like this Roku remote. A lot of people like, more fancier remotes, but to me, since I have been a Roku user for a few years now, I'm very used to this interface, and I believe it works really nice. So that's the remote, nothing much to talk about there. Now let's try to get everything organized, and I'll show you how the TV actually looks. Okay, so this is the rear of the TV. As I notice it, because it's an LED TV, it's about, I want to say it's about probably inch and a half in thickness this way. But at the rear end, because of this is where all the other, parts and everything goes in, the panels to hook up stuff, this part I would say is about 2 inches at the bottom. So as you can see from the side profile here, that's the thickness to expect, but it's a fairly thin TV for the size. It does have this little sign here. It says it's manufactured in Vietnam, and obviously this is for the US market, so it's 120 volts. And you can see clearly there is a Ethernet port which is built on the rear. And then if you look at what ports do you actually get, you have a optical port out here. You have a port for your headphones if you wish to use those. You have an AV in adapter, cable antenna, this is the old school legacy stuff. And then you have the HDMI, which is ARC, as I mentioned. And there are 3 HDMI ports in general, and you got only 1 USB port applied to you. And then if you do wish to reset, there is a reset button here, which you have to use something like fairly sharp or thin to poke in there to reset everything to factory default. So that's what you get out here. Nothing really interesting on this side. I guess there's the power port out here, and that's about it. So this is the AC in. So fairly minimalistic, but all your basic stuff is out here. So let's now hang it on the wall and see how it all comes together. Okay, so the TV is finally mounted on the wall, and as soon as you get it powered up, you are going to see the screen where you have to pick your language. So those are the language it supports. Obviously, I'm in the United States, so that's what I'm going to pick. Set up for home use or for store use. The only difference is that if you set it up for home use, you have a 1-year warranty. And if it's for store use or for some kind of commercial use, then you only get a 6-month warranty from the manufacturer. So bear that in mind. And this is going to check for both wired as well as internet connection. In my case, I am going to hook it up using a wired connection. But of course, it supports Wi-Fi. But that's what you're going to get. As soon as you install it, it's going to get an update on the software. And so it says now your TV will get the latest software. So it will do an automatic update. So as you can see, it's downloading and installing the updated software. I believe this will be the Roku software, which is the OS that runs the TV. So it will be a good idea to actually hook it up to the internet immediately, using your Wi-Fi or whatever. In my case, it was a wired connection, so it picked up the connection instantly. So Going to download. Of obviously how fast the update occurs is also subject to what kind of connection you have. So it finally downloaded everything, and it's going to update the software. And it says, do not turn off your TV or disconnect the power. So this should be a fairly quick process. So you can see the glowing green light behind the TV. That's the mood light that I installed separately. It's not part of the television. So that's what is going on. I've actually turned off the light in my room here to give you better focus on what is on the television. But I'll turn on the television, the lights, and show you, what to expect in normal viewing when you have the lights on. But I think, a TV like this will probably perform best if you are watching it in in an environment where you have a little bit of not very bright lights, because I don't think the TV's brightness is going to be too great to settle or manage it by itself. So something to bear in mind. So it's probably doing a update at this point. So I'll show you what happens next here. Okay, so the TV is now fully hooked up, and I'm trying to play this 4K content on YouTube to give you guys an impression of the kind of quality you can expect in terms of the picture. Mind you, I am right now playing this in a dark room, so the only real ambient light is being created by the light at the rear of the TV. So that's what you're looking at. But in a dark room, I have to say the picture quality is absolutely stunning, especially if you are truly running 4K content. It does do 4K upscaling for regular pictures too, but I think if it is native 4K content you're looking at, it's going to be much better. So in a darkroom setting, like I said, the picture quality is absolutely gorgeous. Nothing to complain at this price point. Very, very sharp. Now let's take a look at what can you expect, watching a sport, like football or something going on, where you can actually tell the refresh rate, because this TV is a 60 hertz refresh rate and not 120. So now let me show you some content on sports and see what's the impact of the refresh rate. So let's look at some sports footage. This is going to be football, since the World Cup is going on at the moment in Qatar, and it's going to help you see what can you expect to see sports on this TV. Typically, if you're going to see sports playing on TV, they say that 120 hertz is the best way to watch those. This is a 60 hertz TV, so something to be aware of. The sound quality on this TV, so far what I've seen, is pretty good. Obviously the reproduction is not as good as a sound bar, but for casual viewing, I think it does the job. I might upgrade at a later point to a sound bar, but at this point I think this is pretty good. Okay, so now let's see what to expect in terms of the TV's performance with some ambient light going on around. Okay, so now you're watching the television play with some ambient light going on. So I have my light turned on, so it's directly overhead. And I have to say the picture quality is really good. It's not as good as it was with the lights switched off. Obviously it's much sharper, but I think it does the job really, really well. Like I said, as a casual viewing on the TV, I wouldn't necessarily say this is home theater quality, but it's pretty good for casual viewing, like I said. So all in all, I think I'm very satisfied with this purchase, especially at that price point below $250. I think this is a steal for a 65-inch TV. You can't go wrong. So if you're still out in the market and looking for a second TV or a bedroom TV or something like that, and you are looking for a large TV, I think this is pretty good. So would I recommend this TV? Yes, as a second TV, I absolutely would. But maybe for your primary television, I would suggest something a little different, especially something that comes at 120 hertz refresh rate. That would be my only gripe with this television. Of course, sound is something very subjective, and most TVs these days don't do a very good job of that. But like I said, for casual viewing, it's pretty good. But thank you for tuning in and watching the video. If you like this content, please share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.